Hi, everyone. It is wonderful to be back with you as we continue our discussion on our book talk segment, as it were, where I'm sharing with you some of what I would have written in my publication, Faith in the Furnace and No Heat. Remember, I started out by basically posing some questions like, how do you get through storms, tornadoes, stuff like that? Referring really, those are metaphorical expressions referring to the tests and trials and difficulties that may come to us in this life, not may come, will come. But how do we get through them without being incinerated, without being blown off course, as it were? So I want to share a very important principle with you. You may already know it, but sometimes it's so important that we do not only have knowledge, but that we apply it or put it into practice when the rubber hits the road. So let me share with you. This is a prayer letter number 56, called to be blessed to be a blessing. And I'm sharing with you a principle that I would call the chariot, not I would call, well, the writer calls it a chariot, the chariot principle. So let me start from here. It would have been entirely impossible to have walked so calmly with God through the last 7 years of my life had I not entered into a trusting relationship with God from my youth. And they say that one of the things that really will take you through a storm is your relationship with God. And that is so very true. Okay. I'm trying to read from my iPad and it just disappeared. You know how these things happen. Right. We often quote Romans 8:28, extracting at times only part of the text. All things work together for good. However, all things work together for good to those who love God. Things go from bad to worse, though, for some other people. So let me skip down here now to say there is no magical formula in things working for good to those who love God. It is just that those who truly love God will not fight Him and throw a temper tantrum. They will submit, knowing that God is working in and through everything. Now, let me say, it does not mean that it will always be a breeze, but God knows how to adjust the wind speed. All right. Okay. So I'm going to skip to where I have a heading, a chariot or a juggernaut car. You determine. Some people mistakenly assume that you are cursed if your life takes an unexpected detour down what may appear to the myopic vision of some to be a cul-de-sac. Far from being a cul-de-sac, my experience has been quite an epiphanous one. The child of God is never cursed because God knows how to turn what the enemy intends to use against us into a marvelous blessing. What some may regard as a Waterloo experience, I hope you're catching the meaning of my metaphors. Waterloo experience, that is a battle that a guy, I forgot his name, got defeated in Wellington. God can transform this experience according to His will and His own timing into a Mount Carmel experience. And of course, I know you know the reference to Mount Carmel. All right. I say here, I was blessed by my health adventure because God showed me from the outset how I should approach the new terrain that I was called upon to traverse. I was to treat my adventure as a chariot, and that I did. I climbed right up into it and did as the writer in The Secret of the Happy Christian's Life advocates. Let me refresh your memory with what I quoted in one of the earlier prayer letters. She says, everything that comes to us becomes a chariot the moment we treat it as such. And on the other hand, even the smallest trial may be a juggernaut car to crush us into misery if we consider it. So I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to pick back up with this excellent spiritual advice and direction that she gives us. So, you coming back? I'm looking for you here. All right.